10 masculine habits that women find attractive in older men. Psychology tricks. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Most men are taught to fear aging, as if every passing year makes them less desirable, less relevant, and less powerful. They begin to believe time is stealing something from them. But that belief is false. The truth is much deeper and far more freeing. A man does not lose value because he gets older. He loses value only when he loses his center. Real masculine appeal is not built on youth, perfect looks, or flashy status. It is built on presence, self-command, and the quiet certainty a man carries within himself. That is why some older men can enter a room and instantly draw respect without chasing attention or proving anything. Women do not respond most strongly to noise, display, or surface-level charm. They respond to deeper signals, the kind that reveal stability, emotional control, confidence, and a life that has been shaped by experience. In this piece, we are pushing past the shallow myths and getting to the core of what truly makes an older man attractive. These are not cheap tricks. These are masculine habits that create lasting impact and separate an ordinary man from one who naturally holds value in the eyes of others. And by the end, you will also see the hidden habit that quietly destroys long-term attraction, even when everything else seems right. Habit number 1. Purpose-driven living. This is where everything changes. A man without direction slowly drifts into needing approval, needing attention, needing someone else to tell him he matters. Don't be that man. Be the one who already knows where he's going. Because here's the truth. When a man has purpose, he doesn't chase validation, he naturally attracts it. That is the quiet power women feel but rarely explain. In female psychology, purpose signals stability, clarity, and inner strength. It tells her, without a word, that you are not lost, that you are not waiting to be chosen. You are already building something meaningful. And that alone makes you stand out in a world full of noise and distraction. You must understand this deeply. Attraction is not about trying harder. It's about living better. When your life has direction, your energy changes. Your posture changes. Your decisions become sharper. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop seeking approval in conversations. That is where real attraction begins. That is one of the most powerful psychology tricks most men overlook. They focus on what to say, how to act, how to impress. But they ignore the foundation, who they are becoming every single day. Purpose isn't loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. But it shows in how you wake up early, how you stay disciplined, how you stay focused even when no one is watching. It shows in the way you talk about your goals, not to impress, but because you are genuinely committed. And women notice that. Not because you're trying to attract them, but because you're aligned with something bigger than attention. That is what creates emotional gravity. In How to Fall in Love, this matters more than charm or clever words. Because attraction grows strongest when a woman feels she is stepping into a man's world, not becoming his entire world. Don't make her your purpose. That creates pressure. That creates imbalance. Instead, invite her into a life that already has meaning. A life that is moving forward with or without her. Ironically, that is what makes her want to stay. That is how female psychology works at a deeper level. She is drawn to the man who is already fulfilled, not the man who is searching for fulfillment through her. So wake up with intention. Build something. Improve something. Move towards something. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Maybe it's your business. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your personal growth. But it must be yours. Because when you are grounded in purpose, rejection doesn't shake you. Silence doesn't confuse you. You don't overthink every message or every interaction. You stay centered. That calm, grounded energy is incredibly attractive. It's not forced. It's not performative. It's natural. And that's what makes it powerful. Many men think attraction is about doing more. More texting. More talking. More proving. But the real psychology tricks are simpler than that. Do less chasing. Do more becoming. Shift your focus inward. Build a life that excites you. Because when you are excited about your own path, you become interesting without trying. You become confident without pretending. You become calm without effort. And in How to Fall in Love, this is the hidden truth. People don't fall for perfection, they fall for presence. They fall for someone who is fully engaged in their own life. So don't wait for motivation. Create structure. Don't wait for inspiration. Build habits. Don't wait for someone to believe in you. Start proving it to yourself. That is purpose driven living. And once you step into it, everything shifts. Conversations feel easier, decisions feel clearer, and attraction becomes a byproduct, not a goal. Remember this: a man with purpose doesn't need to be the loudest in the room. He just needs to be the most aligned with his path. That is what makes him magnetic. That is what makes him unforgettable. And that is what quietly, powerfully draws people, especially women, toward him. Habit number 2, the silver discipline, mastery of self. Habit number 2 is what I call the silver discipline, mastery of self, and this is where the line between an average man and a high value man becomes unmistakably clear. Many men cross into their 40 seconds or 50 seconds and quietly begin to loosen their grip on themselves. They stop pushing. They stop learning. They stop demanding more from their body and mind. The gym becomes optional, curiosity fades, and comfort slowly replaces growth. Don't fall into that trap. Comfort feels good, but it quietly erases your edge. That is the truth most men avoid. But the man who refuses to settle, the one who keeps sharpening himself year after year, becomes something rare, and rarity is what naturally attracts women without effort. Think about it. When a man in his later years walks into a room with energy, posture, and presence that outshines men half his age, people notice. Not because of perfection, not because of genetics, but because of discipline. Because discipline is visible. It shows in how you move, how you speak, how you carry yourself when no one is watching. That is masculine energy at its finest, not loud, not forced, but grounded and undeniable. You must understand this. Discipline is attractive because it is difficult. Most people avoid it. So when you embody it, you stand apart without saying a word. This is not about chasing abs or looking like a fitness model. Don't misunderstand the point. This is about respect, self-respect. When you take care of your body, you send a quiet message: I value myself. When you train your mind, you signal: I am still growing. And growth is magnetic. A man who is still evolving carries a different kind of presence than a man who believes he has already arrived. That is why the journey matters more than the destination. Always. Be the man who chooses the hard path on purpose. Be the man who wakes up and does the uncomfortable thing before the easy one. That is how you build real confidence, not the kind that needs validation, but the kind that stands firm in silence. And here's the deeper layer most people miss. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. It frees you from laziness. It frees you from regret. It frees you from becoming a man who looks back and wonders what could have been. Pick one hard thing this year. Just one. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't try to change everything overnight. That is where most men fail. Instead, choose something meaningful and commit to it fully. Learn a new language that challenges your brain. Set a fitness goal that pushes your limits. Build a business skill that expands your value. And don't quit when it gets boring. Don't quit when it gets hard. Stay. That is where transformation happens. Because here's the truth: any man can start something. Few men finish. And finishing is where respect is built, both from others and from within yourself. When a woman sees a man who follows through, who keeps his word to himself, she feels it. She may not explain it logically, but she responds to it emotionally. That consistency, that quiet strength, that unwavering focus, it signals safety, stability, and direction. And those are deeply attractive traits in a high-value man. Don't chase attention. Don't try to impress. Build yourself instead. Because when you embody discipline, you don't need tricks to attract women. You become the kind of man they notice naturally. You become the man who doesn't need to speak loudly to be heard. That is real masculine energy, controlled, focused, and self-directed. And remember this: aging is not the enemy. Neglect is. Time will pass no matter what you do. But how you use that time, that is your power. You can either drift into comfort or rise into mastery. The choice is yours every single day. So don't slow down just because the world expects you to. Don't shrink into a smaller version of yourself. Expand. Grow. Become sharper, stronger, wiser. Because a man who is still becoming is far more powerful than a man who believes he is finished. If this hit you, don't just watch, act. Drop this in the comments right now. I don't age, I sharpen. Like the video, subscribe for more real, grounded wisdom, and remember, a man who keeps growing never fades. He becomes undeniable. Habit number 3, calm decisiveness. Habit number 3 is calm decisiveness, and you must understand this clearly. Indecision quietly erodes attraction faster than any visible mistake ever could because hesitation signals uncertainty, and uncertainty creates emotional instability. But decisiveness, even imperfect decisiveness, builds trust, builds safety, builds presence. As Tony Robbins once said, it is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. You don't need perfect answers. You don't need flawless judgment. But you must decide. You must move. You must lead your own life with clarity. A man who calmly says, "This is what we're doing," without arrogance, without noise, creates a grounded energy that people, especially women, naturally lean into. That is not control. That is stability. That is direction. And in a world full of overthinking, endless options, and constant second guessing, this kind of calm decisiveness becomes rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. Understand this. Hesitation creates doubt, and doubt spreads fast. It weakens connection. It disrupts momentum. But clarity? Clarity creates trust. Clarity creates emotional safety. When you decide, you remove confusion. When you move forward, you eliminate tension. And when you adjust later if needed, you prove something even more powerful. You prove that you are flexible without being lost. This is where old Stoic wisdom speaks directly to you. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control your response, your judgment, and your action. That is Stoicism win. That is the discipline of an iron mind. Look at modern life. Men today are overwhelmed with choices, from careers to relationships to daily decisions, and many freeze because they fear being wrong. But here is the truth. Being wrong is not the problem. Staying stuck is. You must train yourself to act. Choose the restaurant. Set the plan. Speak your intention. Not aggressively, not loudly, but calmly, firmly, decisively. Because a man who trusts his own judgment teaches others to trust him too. And this is not just about attraction. It is about leadership in your own life. It is about becoming the man who does not wait for permission, the man who does not drift, the man who does not outsource his direction to the opinions of others. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength is not loud. It is quiet. It is steady. It is the ability to make a decision without emotional chaos. You must practice this daily. Start small. Decide quickly. Move forward. Accept the outcome. Adjust without regret. This builds your iron mind. This builds your internal authority. And over time, people will feel it without you saying a word. They will sense that you are not easily shaken, that you do not collapse under pressure, that you're a man who moves through life with purpose. That is Stoicism win in action. That is old Stoic wisdom applied to modern life. So stop waiting. Stop circling decisions. Stop asking, "What if I'm wrong?" and start asking, "What is the next move?" Then make it. Own it. Refine it. Because in the end, attraction is not built on perfection. It is built on presence, clarity, and direction. Decide. Move. Adjust. And repeat until it becomes who you are. Habit number 4, controlled silence. Habit number 4 is controlled silence, and this is where most men get it completely wrong without even realizing it. They believe attraction comes from saying more, explaining more, proving more, but that is exactly where they lose their edge. A man who talks too much slowly drains the mystery that makes him compelling. Words, when overused, become noise. And noise is easy to ignore. But silence, controlled, intentional silence, that carries weight. That creates presence. That is one of the most powerful psychology tricks rooted deeply in female psychology and how attraction naturally builds over time. When you stop rushing to fill every pause, something interesting happens. People lean in. They pay closer attention. They begin to feel you rather than just hear you. That is the shift. That is the moment you move from being just another voice to becoming someone unforgettable. Don't explain everything. You don't need to. Over-explaining signals uncertainty. It tells the world you are trying to justify yourself instead of standing firmly in who you are. Be selective. Be precise. Say less, but make every word count. That is how you create impact. That is how you tap into how to fall in love on a deeper psychological level, because attraction isn't built through constant talking. It's built through emotional tension, curiosity, and space. And silence creates all three. Think about it. In conversations, the man who pauses, who listens fully, who responds calmly and briefly, he controls the rhythm. He sets the tone. He becomes the center without ever trying to dominate the space. That is real confidence. That is control. And here's where it connects directly to female psychology. Women are naturally drawn to emotional depth and presence, not noise, not constant chatter. When you speak less, she begins to wonder more. She starts filling the gaps with her own thoughts, her own curiosity. She leans into you emotionally. That is one of the most subtle yet powerful psychology tricks you can master. It's not manipulation. It's understanding human nature. It's understanding that attraction grows in space, not in overcrowded conversation. If you say everything, you leave nothing to discover. And without discovery, there is no excitement, no intrigue, no emotional pull. Be comfortable with silence. Most men fear it. They think silence is awkward. It's not. Awkwardness only appears when you are unsure of yourself. But when you are grounded, when you are calm, silence becomes strength. It becomes a signal that you don't need constant validation. You don't need to impress. You simply are. And that quiet confidence speaks louder than any long explanation ever could. That is how to fall in love in a way that feels natural, not forced, by allowing space for emotions to develop instead of trying to push them forward with endless words. Don't overshare too quickly. Mystery is not about hiding, it's about pacing. It's about revealing yourself layer by layer, not all at once. When you give everything away immediately, there is no journey left, no curiosity left, no reason for her to stay engaged. But when you hold back just enough, when you allow her to discover you over time, you create a dynamic that keeps her interested, invested, and emotionally connected. That is another core principle within psychology tricks and female psychology. People value what unfolds gradually, not what is handed to them instantly. And understand this clearly. Silence is not about being distant or cold. That's a mistake many men make when they first hear this idea. Controlled silence is warm, present, and intentional. You listen deeply. You observe. You respond thoughtfully. You don't rush. You don't interrupt. You don't speak just to fill space. That is the difference. That is what separates a man who understands how to fall in love through emotional intelligence from one who is simply trying to impress. Be the man who can sit in a moment without needing to control it with words. Be the man who lets eye contact linger a little longer. Be the man who smiles instead of explaining. Be the man who answers simply and leaves space afterward. That is where attraction breathes. That is where connection grows. Because when you stop talking just to be heard, you start being felt, and being felt is far more powerful. Silence isn't emptiness. It's control. It's awareness. It's discipline. It shows that you are not driven by impulse, but guided by intention. And in a world where everyone is talking, posting, explaining, and proving, your silence becomes rare. It becomes magnetic. It becomes something people notice without understanding why. That is the quiet power most men overlook, yet it is one of the strongest psychology tricks tied directly to female psychology and the deeper mechanics of how to fall in love. So remember this. Don't chase attention with words. Let your presence earn it. Don't rush to explain yourself. Let people experience you. Don't fear silence. Use it, shape it, own it. Because the man who masters controlled silence doesn't just communicate, he commands attention without asking for it. And that is a different level entirely. If this hit you, don't just scroll past it, own it. Like the video, subscribe for more sharp, no nonsense wisdom, and start practicing the power most men ignore. Then drop this in the comments to lock it in your mind. My silence is my strength. Habit number 5, physical presence. Habit number 5, physical presence. Before you ever open your mouth, your body has already introduced you. It has already made a statement. It has already decided whether people lean in or look past you. That is the reality most men ignore. They focus on what to say, but forget how they show up. And here's the truth. Presence speaks louder than words ever will. A high-value man understands this deeply. He knows that attraction doesn't start with conversation. It starts with energy, posture, and control. Stand straight. Not stiff, not forced, just aligned. Shoulders back, chin level, eyes forward. That is not arrogance. That is clarity. That is a man who is comfortable in his own skin. When you walk into a room, don't drift in like you're asking for permission. Walk like you've already earned your place. Slow your pace. Control your steps. Each movement should feel deliberate, not accidental. Because when your body is calm, your message becomes powerful. This is how masculine energy is felt before it is explained. Don't rush. Most men move too fast. They gesture too much. They react too quickly. And in doing so, they leak uncertainty. You must do the opposite. Slow down your hands. Let your movements breathe. When you reach for something, do it with intention. When you turn your head, do it smoothly. That is control. That is presence. That is what begins to attract women without a single word spoken. Because calm movement signals calm thinking, and calm thinking signals strength. Don't fidget. That nervous tapping, the constant shifting, the restless hands, it tells a story you don't want to tell. It says, I'm unsure. I'm uncomfortable. I don't fully belong. And whether you realize it or not, people pick up on that instantly. Especially women. They read the subtle signals. They feel the tension. And attraction fades before it even begins. So be still. Let silence and stillness work for you. A high-value man is not afraid of stillness. He uses it as a weapon. Don't shrink yourself. This is where many men lose without even knowing it. They make themselves smaller to fit in. They lower their posture. They soften their presence. They try not to take up space. But listen carefully, confidence is not about taking space from others. It's about not giving up your own. You must hold your ground. Sit fully in your chair. Stand fully on your feet. Own your space without apology. That is what it means to embody masculine energy in a way that feels natural, not forced. Your body should communicate one simple message: I belong here. Not because you said it, not because you proved it, but because you are it. That kind of certainty cannot be faked with words. It must be lived through posture, movement, and presence. When you carry yourself this way, people feel it. They may not even understand why, but they respect it. They respond to it. And yes, it quietly helps you attract women who are drawn to grounded, centered energy. Presence isn't about size. It's not about being the tallest man in the room, the loudest voice, or the most decorated. It's about certainty. A smaller man with absolute certainty will outshine a larger man filled with hesitation every single time. Why? Because certainty is magnetic. It pulls attention. It creates comfort. It builds trust. And in a world full of noise and chaos, a man who is calm and certain becomes incredibly rare. Be aware of your breathing. Slow it down. Deepen it. Because your breath controls your state. And your state controls your presence. If your breathing is rushed, your body will follow. If your breathing is steady, your movements will align with it. That is internal control translating into external power. This is not theory. This is practice. This is discipline. This is how a high-value man separates himself without needing validation. And here's the deeper layer. Physical presence is not just about how others see you. It's about how you experience yourself. When you stand strong, move with intention, and hold your space, you begin to feel different, more grounded, more focused, more in control. And that internal shift changes everything. Your voice becomes steadier. Your eye contact becomes stronger. Your decisions become clearer. This is the foundation of masculine energy that others can feel instantly. So don't underestimate this habit. It's quiet, but it's powerful. It doesn't shout, but it commands. It doesn't chase, but it attracts. You don't need more words. You don't need clever lines. You need presence. Real, grounded, undeniable presence. That is what makes people stop. That is what makes them listen. That is what makes them remember you. Be still. Be intentional. Be certain. That is the standard. Habit number 6, emotional boundaries. Habit number 6, emotional boundaries. And if you miss this, you miss everything. A man who reacts to everything is a man controlled by everything. Don't do that. Not every comment deserves your energy. Not every person deserves your time. That is the line. That is the standard. A grounded man understands where he ends and where others begin, and he protects that space with quiet certainty. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't chase approval. He doesn't explain himself endlessly. He simply decides and then acts accordingly. When someone disrespects you, don't argue to prove your worth. Step back. Withdraw access. Let your absence speak. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That is old Stoic wisdom in action. That is how an iron mind is built, by refusing to be pulled into every emotional storm that passes by. In modern life, where messages, opinions, and noise come at you from every direction, social media, work stress, relationships, this becomes even more critical. You must filter. You must choose. You must decide what gets your attention and what gets ignored. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about choosing who gets closer. That is the difference. Boundaries aren't walls. They are filters. They don't isolate you. They refine your world. They protect your peace, and in doing so, they quietly increase your value. People notice a man who doesn't react impulsively. People respect a man who doesn't tolerate disrespect. People are drawn to a man who is calm, centered, and selective. That is Stoicism win in real life, not theory, not philosophy on paper, but discipline in action. You don't need to announce your standards. Live them. You don't need to fight for respect. Enforce it with your behavior. If someone crosses the line, you don't negotiate with chaos. You remove yourself from it. Clean, simple, final. As Epictetus taught, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. That is a hard truth, but it is also freedom. Because if your reaction is your responsibility, then your peace is your power. And a man with that level of control carries a different presence. He doesn't seek validation. He attracts it. He doesn't chase attention. He commands it by being unavailable to nonsense. This is where most men get it wrong. They think attraction comes from doing more, saying more, giving more. No, it comes from restraint. It comes from knowing when to step back. It comes from having an iron mind that does not bend under emotional pressure. You must practice this daily. When someone tries to pull you into drama, pause. When someone tests your limits, observe. When something triggers you, breathe. Then decide. Always decide. Never react blindly. That is how you separate yourself. That is how you rise above the noise. That is how you embody old Stoic wisdom in a modern world that constantly tries to break your focus. And understand this clearly. Every time you enforce a boundary, you are telling the world how to treat you. Every time you ignore disrespect, you are teaching people that it is acceptable. So choose carefully. Be intentional. Be disciplined. This is not about being distant. This is about being precise. The right people will respect your standards. The wrong people will fall away. Let them. That is not loss. That is clarity. That is Stoicism win. And when you live like this long enough, something powerful happens. You stop needing control over others because you have mastered control over yourself. That is the ultimate advantage. That is the quiet power of a man who knows his worth and protects it without apology. If this hit you, then you already understand something most men never learn. Your peace is your power. Stop reacting to everything. Stop giving access to everyone. Stand firm. Choose who gets your time, your energy, your attention. That's how respect is built. That's how value is felt. Now prove it to yourself. Drop this in the comments. I protect my peace and I choose my worth. Habit number 7, selective attention. Habit number 7 is selective attention, and if you understand this, you unlock one of the most powerful psychology tricks in modern life. Where your attention goes, your value follows. That is not just a saying, it is a law. A high value man does not scatter his focus like loose change. He directs it with intention. He guards it. He invests it. Because attention is not free, it is currency. And every time you give it away carelessly, you lower your perceived worth without even realizing it. Don't respond to everything. Don't jump at every notification. Don't train the world to believe you are always available. That is how you become predictable. And predictability kills intrigue. It weakens attraction. It removes tension. In female psychology, mystery and emotional control create curiosity. Curiosity creates attraction. And attraction is the first step in how to fall in love. Be selective. That is the rule. Be deliberate with who gets your time, your energy, your presence. When you respond too quickly to everything, when you engage with every distraction, you send a silent message. I have nothing better going on. And people feel that, even if they don't say it. But when you pause, when you choose your moments, when your attention is not easily earned, you rise in value. You become someone people think about, someone they wait for, someone they respect. This is one of the oldest psychology tricks, yet most men ignore it because they confuse attention with kindness. No, attention is power. Use it with discipline. Focus on what truly matters. Your purpose, your growth, your standards. That is where your attention should live. Because when a man is focused, grounded, and intentional, he naturally becomes more attractive. Not because he is trying to impress, but because he is not trying at all. That is the paradox. The less you chase, the more you attract. The more you control your attention, the more others want it. In female psychology, emotional independence is magnetic. A man who is not easily pulled into every conversation, every drama, every fleeting distraction, that man stands out. He feels rare, and rarity creates desire. Don't misunderstand this. Selective attention is not about ignoring people or playing games. It is about self-respect. It is about knowing that your time is limited, your energy is valuable, and not everyone deserves access to it. That is how to fall in love the right way, not by overgiving, not by over-explaining, not by overreacting, but by showing up with presence, clarity, and control. When you give attention, make it meaningful, make it intentional, make it felt. Because when something is not always available, it becomes more valuable. And here is the deeper truth most men overlook. The way you manage your attention shapes your entire life. If you let distractions control you, your life becomes scattered. If you control your attention, your life becomes focused, strong, directed. That is why this is more than attraction. This is mastery. Master your attention, and you master your emotions. Master your emotions, and you master your relationships. This is the foundation behind all effective psychology tricks, all understanding of female psychology, and ultimately, the real path in how to fall in love without losing yourself. So remember this. Attention is currency. Spend it like a man who knows his worth. Not cheaply, not impulsively, but with intention, with clarity, with purpose. Because when you control where your attention goes, you control the direction of your life, and that is where real power begins. Habit number 8, emotional restraint. Habit number 8, emotional restraint. Feeling is human. Never deny that. But spilling every emotion into the room, reacting to every trigger, every shift, every bit of tension, that is not depth, that is lack of control. And control is the quiet backbone of a high-value man. You must understand this. Emotions are signals, not commands. They inform you, but they do not own you. Don't let every mood dictate your behavior. Don't let every external situation pull you off center. Be still first, then decide. Pause. That is your power move. In a world where most people react instantly, text back too fast, argue too quickly, show frustration too openly, you do the opposite. You pause. You observe. You take in the full picture before you respond. That is where masculine energy begins to separate itself from noise. It's not loud. It's not rushed. It's deliberate. And that calm deliberation? It's magnetic. It makes people lean in, not pull away. Think about it. When tension rises, when a woman tests your patience, when emotions run high, most men lose their frame. They react. They explain. They defend. They try to fix everything in the moment. Don't. That is where attraction quietly slips away. Instead, hold your ground. Stay composed. Speak less, but mean more. A high-value man does not chase emotional stability. He embodies it. He becomes the steady point in the chaos. Respond, not react. That line is everything. Reaction is instinct. Response is mastery. Reaction is emotional impulse. Response is controlled intention. And women feel that difference instantly. One creates uncertainty. The other creates safety and intrigue at the same time. That is how you attract women without saying much. Your presence speaks before your words do. Be a man who can feel deeply but remain grounded. That combination is rare. Anyone can shut down emotionally. That's not strength. And anyone can explode emotionally. That's not strength either. True strength is balance. You feel everything, but you choose what to show, when to show it, and how to express it. That is emotional discipline. That is refined masculine energy. Don't mistake silence for suppression. Don't confuse calm with indifference. You are not ignoring your emotions, you are leading them. You are deciding which ones deserve action and which ones deserve space. That is maturity. That is growth. And that is what sets a high-value man apart from the rest. In modern life, everything pushes you to react fast. Social media, messages, expectations, pressure. But you must resist that pull. Slow down your responses. Create space between feeling and action. That space is where your power lives. That space is where clarity is built. And clarity is attractive. It shows you are not controlled by the world. You are centered within yourself. A woman will notice this, even if she can't explain it. She will feel your steadiness, your calm, your ability to not get shaken by small things. And that feeling? It draws her in. Because deep down, people are tired of emotional chaos. They crave someone who brings peace, not pressure. Stability, not drama. So don't react to every mood swing. Don't engage in every emotional test. Don't try to win every moment. Be selective. Be intentional. Be composed. That is how you protect your energy. That is how you increase your value. And that is how you naturally attract women, not by chasing, not by forcing, but by becoming rare. And remember this, rarity is always attractive. Not because it tries to be, but because it refuses to be common. If this message speaks to you, don't just listen, apply it. Like the video, share it with someone who needs this reminder, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Now make it real. Anchor it in your mind. Comment this below. I stay calm, I stay in control, and I respond with strength. Habit number 9. Radical intentionality. The end of maybe. Radical intentionality. Habit number 9. Radical intentionality. The absolute end of maybe. Burn that word out of your vocabulary. Because nothing quietly destroys attraction faster than hesitation dressed up as politeness. A man who constantly says, I don't know, what do you want, is not being agreeable. He is revealing a lack of direction. And without direction, there is no trust. Without trust, there is no attraction. Understand this deeply. In a world overflowing with options, distractions, and noise, the rare man is the one who chooses. Clearly, calmly, without apology. That is power. That is presence. That is what separates the average from the unforgettable. A high-quality woman is not looking for perfection. She is looking for certainty. She wants to feel that the man in front of her knows where he is going, even if the path is not perfect. Because certainty creates emotional safety, and safety creates connection. This is where old Stoic wisdom becomes your advantage. A man grounded in principle does not drift through life reacting to everything around him. He moves with intention, guided by an inner compass. As Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. That is clarity. That is discipline. That is the standard you must hold. Radical intentionality is not loud. It does not need to announce itself. It shows up in the smallest decisions. You choose the restaurant before the date even begins. You pick the time. You plan the flow of the evening. Not to control, but to lead. Leadership is not force. Leadership is direction. And direction removes friction. It makes things easy. It allows the moment to unfold without confusion. In modern life, where most men hesitate, delay, and overthink, your decisiveness becomes magnetic. It signals that you are not guessing your way through life, you are building it. Stop softening your language. Stop diluting your intent. Words matter. Maybe is uncertainty. I guess is hesitation. Replace them with clarity. Say, let's meet at 7. Say, we're going here. Say, this is what I want. Not aggressively. Not arrogantly. Calmly. Directly. Like a man who has already decided who he is. This is the energy of an iron mind. You are not rushing. You are not forcing. You are simply not wavering. And that steadiness is rare. That steadiness is attractive. Look around. Most men are stuck in loops of indecision. They wait for the perfect moment. They seek constant validation. They adjust themselves to please everyone. And in doing so, they lose their center. You will not do that. You will operate differently. You will think ahead. You will act with purpose. You will remove unnecessary hesitation from your life. Because every time you delay a decision, you train yourself to doubt. And doubt is the enemy of presence. As Seneca taught, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Indecision is wasted time. Hesitation is wasted energy. You do not have the luxury to drift. Not if you want to live fully. Not if you want to become a man who stands out. A man practicing Stoicism understands this. He treats his time as valuable. He treats his choices as deliberate. He does not float, he directs. And here is the deeper truth. Radical intentionality is not just about attracting women. It is about mastering your life. The same mindset that leads a confident date leads a disciplined body, a focused career, and a clear future. You don't randomly eat, you choose what fuels you. You don't randomly scroll, you choose what builds you. You don't randomly connect, you choose who aligns with your path. Everything becomes intentional. Everything becomes aligned. Repeat this until it becomes your standard. Clarity over comfort. Decision over delay. Direction over doubt. You must train yourself to act, to choose, to move forward even when things are not perfect. Because perfection is a trap. Action is progress. And progress builds confidence. The more you decide, the stronger you become. The more you act, the sharper your instincts grow. This is how you build an iron mind, through repeated, deliberate action. Women feel this before they understand it. They feel your presence, your grounded energy, your lack of hesitation. It tells them something powerful. This man can be trusted with a future, not because he says it, but because he demonstrates it. Through his choices, through his words, through his consistency. That is what makes you different. That is what makes you respected. So eliminate maybe, remove confusion, speak with intent, move with purpose, decide your path and walk it without constant second guessing. This is not about being perfect. This is about being clear. This is old Stoic wisdom applied to modern life. This is Stoicism in action. And when you live this way, fully, deliberately, unapologetically, you stop being overlooked. You stop blending in. You become the man others naturally look to. The man who leads without forcing. The man who knows. The man who chooses. Habit number 10. Emotional unshakability. Habit number 10 is emotional unshakability, and you need to understand this clearly. This is not just a trait, it is a signal, a message you send without speaking, and in today's world, where reactions are instant and emotions are displayed without restraint, a man who stays composed stands out immediately. Don't rush to react. Don't let every inconvenience pull you off center. Be the man who pauses, who observes, who chooses his response with intention, because that is where true presence is built. And that is exactly where psychology tricks and female psychology begin to work in your favor, whether you realize it or not. Think about it. Most younger men are caught in a loop of reacting, traffic, messages, social media, small disrespect, and every reaction chips away at their image. But you must be different. You must understand that every moment is an opportunity to demonstrate control, and control is attractive because it signals safety, stability, and strength without needing to prove anything loudly. Women, consciously or subconsciously, are always reading emotional signals, and female psychology is wired to notice who remains steady when things go wrong, who can be relied on when tension rises, who doesn't collapse under pressure. And this is not about suppressing emotions. Don't misunderstand it. It is about mastering them, about feeling everything but choosing what to show and when to show it. That is the difference. That is how to fall in love with life itself first, so others naturally gravitate toward you. You must train this like a discipline, not a theory. Start with the simple but powerful 3-second gap when something triggers you. Pause, breathe, hold your reaction. Those 3 seconds are not empty. They are full of control, full of awareness, full of decision. And in that space, you separate yourself from the crowd because most people never create that gap. They live in reaction mode, but you don't. You lead yourself first. Don't argue over things that don't matter. Don't try to win every conversation. Be selective with your energy, because a man who is emotionally unshakable does not need to prove he is right. He simply remains grounded. And that grounded energy becomes magnetic. It draws people in, it builds curiosity, it creates respect without effort. In modern life, where chaos is constant and attention is scattered, your calm becomes rare, and rarity always increases value. So be that rare man, the one who does not get pulled into every emotional storm, the one who can sit in silence without discomfort, the one who listens more than he speaks, because silence, when controlled, is not emptiness, it is presence, it is weight, it is power. And understand this deeply. Emotional unshakability is one of the most effective psychology tricks you can develop because it changes how people perceive you instantly. It shifts the dynamic in every interaction, especially in attraction. Because female psychology responds to consistency and emotional stability far more than to loud displays or constant validation. And when a woman feels that you are not easily shaken, she begins to feel safe around you. She begins to trust your presence. And that trust is the foundation of how to fall in love in a mature, meaningful way. Don't be the man who reacts to every message immediately. Don't be the man who gets frustrated over small delays. Don't be the man who needs constant reassurance. Instead, be calm, be centered, be deliberate. Because that energy communicates that you have options, that you have a life, that you are not dependent on external validation to feel secure. And here's the truth most men overlook. Emotional control is not about others, it is about you. It is about your standards, your discipline, your ability to lead yourself regardless of circumstances. Because if you cannot control your reactions, you cannot control your direction in life. And if you cannot control your direction, you cannot build anything meaningful, whether it is success, respect, or deep connection. So train yourself daily. When something annoys you, pause. When something excites you, don't rush. When something challenges you, stay steady. Build that internal strength step by step, because over time, this becomes your default state, and once it does, everything changes. Your conversations become more impactful, your presence becomes more noticeable, your relationships become more balanced, and you naturally embody the kind of man that others respect and are drawn to without needing explanation. All right, gentlemen, that's where we wrap this up. Listen closely. Your age is not something to hide, it's something to use. Life has already trained you. Every mistake, every lesson, every hard moment, it built something inside you that younger men simply don't have yet. So don't shrink. Don't apologize. Stand firm in it. Be the man who stays steady when things get uncertain. Be the man who doesn't chase validation, but creates value. That is what people feel. That is what naturally draws others in. And here's the truth: don't try to become someone else. Refine who you already are. Sharpen your habits. Hold your frame. Stay consistent. Because a man who is calm, grounded, and clear about his direction becomes impossible to ignore. If this message speaks to you, take it seriously. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Take care of yourself, stay sharp, and keep building that unshakable presence. See you in the next one.